I'm James Heaney, and this is Brief News Brief. I'm so sorry. I told you that we'd cover all the crazy news this week, but the truth is it was too much news for Brief News to cover. I feel like Flintstone's vitamins. We think that we're a Jetsons pill that gets all the nutrients, but you still need to eat your vegetables. This morning, Donald Trump finger-blasted the intelligence community in a series of tweets. He blames them for the unverified report of salacious acts he allegedly committed in Russia in 2013. But he says he's got his people investigating and they'll have a full report in the next 90 days. So don't watch the news on this stuff. Wait for the truth report to come out from the Trump campaign. The former spy who compiled the dossier has gone missing since yesterday, as well as his wife and his family. They disappeared from his home. It's pretty scary. Last Friday, just to recap things, Trump was briefed on the 2-page summary of this report, as was Barack Obama. And then later in the week, BuzzFeed released the entire 30-page unverified report. Earlier this week, he tweeted in response to this, "Intelligence agencies should have never allowed this fake news to leak into the public. One last shot at me. Are we living in Nazi Germany?" These comments about Nazi Germany, which he repeated in his press conference, created a major backlash of false equivalency. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said the president-elect could easily refute many of the claims in this dossier by releasing his financial information. Beyond the sexual allegations, there are also allegations that Trump has potential financial entanglements of his family and his businesses in Russia. Ties that could potentially create a blackmail-type situation where Trump could be working as an agent for the Russians. If he released his tax returns, this would all be cleared up. It's absolutely unprecedented in modern times that a presidential candidate not release their tax returns. But Trump claims that nobody cares about these tax returns. The only people that care about it is the media. But NPR recently released a poll that says 80% of Americans do care and want to see the tax returns. Only about 20% say they could care less. Meanwhile, Trump's approval ratings are at a record low for president-elects, with only 44% of Americans saying they approve of him. These figures set him far apart from his predecessors. A week before Inauguration Day in 2009, 83% of Americans said they approved of Barack Obama. And George Bush, who just like Trump, lost the popular vote but won the Electoral College vote, had 61% approval rating a week before Inauguration Day in 2001. This is quite a rocky boat as we see Obama say his farewells and the Trump family preparing to move into the White House 1 week from today. Think about it, 1 week from today. Today is gonna be the day Obamacare's voted to go away. You may not realize this is the ACA. They're both the same. Yeah. Obamacare is up for a vote today in the House of Representatives through the budget resolution bill. This vote could pave the way for the repeal of the monumental health care legislation that put health care front and center in American politics. Like it or not, before Obamacare, decade after decade passed where politicians claimed they were going to reform the system, and then decade after decade it was put on the back burner because it was too complicated, too confusing, too divisive, and just too plain hard. Well, people who were getting sick at the time were just uninsured, they'd lose their homes or go bankrupt or just straight up die. Early Thursday morning in the wee hours of an all-night vote-a-thon that began Wednesday night, the Senate approved the bill. While Democrats in the Senate not only voted no, they made a dedication to their no vote and all of their constituents who feel like their life has actually changed for the better from the legislation. The president-elect this week urged Congress to follow a repeal vote with a replacement as soon as possible. Although it's a bit strange that the Senate has had 7 years to write their replacement plan for Obamacare, but they still haven't compiled anything. Although more than 60 times the House has passed a bill to undo the law in the last 6 years. I was hoping that they were thinking of what they wanted to replace it with when they voted no to undo this legislation 60 times. You know, something they agree on. What they agree on is that they want to get rid of Obamacare. But what they don't agree on is how to fix it and help the American people. Centrist Republican Charlie Dent, he's from Pennsylvania, said Thursday that he still has serious reservations about voting for the budget resolution without any concrete plans of how to replace Obamacare. This is his quote. "Before we take this plane into the air, we better have a damn good idea of where we're going to land it, because right now, we're not sure how we're going to land it." And scene. There's nothing more attractive than a man in a uniform, or so members of the Israeli military would like to believe. According to military intelligence, soldiers in Israel had actually been targeted by Hamas militants posing as women through the use of an online dating app, in what was a classic honeypot trap, albeit with a modern twist. Members of the Palestinian group found soldiers online and then tried to strike up friendship using the fake identities. Dozens of soldiers were persuaded to install an application that controlled their phone, cameras, and their microphones. However, officials claimed that Hamas was not able to uncover any major secrets because most of these soldiers were just low-ranking. But the scammers were interested in finding information about the Israeli army, maneuvers and forces and weaponry around the Hamas-dominated Gaza Strip. The photos used in the scheme belonged to real women whose pictures and personal details were stolen from their social media profiles. An online encounter might have looked something like this. "Oh, girl, that bra on your picture looks smoking hot." "Yes, right on. Wearing shirts is for squares." "I can't wait to meet you and we can really party." "Oh, yeah. But first, what about those munitions stationed outside your base? How many guards are going to be there tomorrow night?" "Oh, I don't know, like 4, but Kevin's 6, so probably 3.
"Excellent. Please be downloading this video chat app and then we can have sexy time."
"Done and done."
"Hold on a second, my toast is done. BRB."
What? And then she'd be gone. The main complaint of the soldiers was that once they downloaded the apps, the conversations would go silent, and many were left with a serious case of blue balls. It would seem to me that the Israeli Defense Force needs to put in a new training regimen to help combat this devastating threat to national security. Prescription is mandatory viewings of seasons 1 and 2 of MTV's Catfish. Ooh, it's poll tally time! Do you consider BuzzFeed fake news? Well, you say it varies story to story. That's very adult of you to keep an open mind. And do you prefer Lyft or Uber? Most of you prefer Lyft. Uber's got a very small portion, you got very small portion, and a huge portion of you like taxis. You're crazy. If you like taxis, you should just stop voting because your opinion's terrible. All right, and my favorite of the polls, how much would it cost for you to pee on someone? Keep in mind, everything has a price. Turns out, the truth is, you'd pee on somebody for free. So, hey, Donald Trump, you dummy, you got a whole bunch of people over here would pee on you completely free. Why are you paying hookers? All right, new polls. Are you excited about the Nintendo Switch? I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's the new announced Nintendo system. Next, where in the world is the MI agent, the MI8 agent? And finally, should Trump release his tax returns?